Welcome. Before you do anything else, I want you to pause and really listen. There's a kind of conversation most of the world doesn't have with women, words that carry weight, that reach places the mirror cannot reflect, that honor the part of you that exists beneath the surface. Right now, I want you to feel what it's like to be truly seen, not for what you wear, not for the applause you've earned, not for the role you play, but for the structure, the foundation, the quiet fire you carry inside. There is something about the presence of a man who has lived long enough to see patterns repeat, to see facades fall, to watch truth and weakness in their rawest forms. When such a man speaks, his words land differently. They are not louder, they are not smoother, they are heavier, slower, and more precise. They settle into the space inside you where your soul keeps its ledger, the place where recognition feels like oxygen. These are not compliments thrown to impress. These are statements that survive the silence, statements that do not dissolve when the lights go out. You have likely been conditioned to crave validation for your surface. You look beautiful. You're amazing. You did well. Words like these can warm the skin, but they rarely touch the bones, rarely reach the spine, rarely honor the architecture of who you are. That's what we are talking about here. That is the foundation. That is the depth. And that is what you have been starved for, whether you knew it or not. So, let us begin. Not with empty praise, but with words that land. Words that recognize the truth you've carried in silence. Words that see your effort, your stillness, your discipline, your refusal to shrink in a world built to compress your light. These words are rare. These words are sacred, and when they are spoken, they shift something inside you. They remind you, you are already more than the world has measured. You are already enough. And today, we will explore the 8 compliments that only a man of experience, of life, of patience, and of observation can give. These are words that reach beyond surface beauty, beyond charm, beyond fleeting charm, and touch what lives at the core of your being.
The first compliment lands quietly, but it carries a weight most women never experience. It is, "You are not like most people." At first, it may sound simple. At first, you might think it is a casual observation, something anyone could say. But the truth is, when an older man, someone who has watched patterns repeat for decades, says this, he has seen everything. He has witnessed masks and performances, people pretending to be more than they are. He has watched honesty bend and kindness exploited and courage falter. When he tells you, "You are not like most people," he is not surprised. He is recognizing something rare, something authentic in your presence, something that defies the ordinary. It is not flattery, it is recognition, anchored in experience. And recognition from a man who has seen the world twice is sacred. Hold it close, let it settle inside you. The second compliment is even more disarming. It is, "You do not need to prove anything." Think for a moment about the invisible labor you have carried, the effort to justify your presence, the weight of showing your value to family, to colleagues, to friends, to people who may never have asked, but whose expectations became your chains. Every day you've been performing, proving, explaining yourself, earning your right to take up space. And then, with quiet authority, he says, "You do not need to prove anything." And in that moment, something shifts. Not because he gave you permission, but because he saw the truth you've been hiding from yourself. He saw the exhaustion, the invisible burden, the relentless work of simply existing and being seen. Those words crack open a space inside you, a space you didn't know you were longing for, a space where you can finally breathe without apology. That is not simply a compliment, that is freedom. The third compliment bridges generations and lineage. It is, "You remind me of someone I deeply respect." This is not comparison, this is acknowledgement. He is connecting you to a presence that shaped him, someone whose impact reverberated silently but powerfully, perhaps a mother, a teacher, a mentor, a woman whose influence changed the trajectory of his life. And in seeing that quality in you, he is saying, you carry something timeless, something that mattered, something that leaves a mark. This compliment is inheritance. It is an offering. It tells you that what you are building inside yourself is recognized, not superficially, but at the level of essence and character. The fourth compliment is subtle, but it cuts deeper than most expect. It is, you are the calmest person in the room. The world rewards noise. It rewards reaction. It rewards chaos disguised as passion, drama masquerading as strength. But an older man knows better. He sees stillness, and he knows it is rare. Calm is not passivity. Calm is choice. Calm is mastery of oneself, a quiet power forged in storms, tempered by patience, and unshaken by trivialities. He sees the battles you have endured, the storms you have survived, and honors your discipline. Calmness is the architecture of strength, and he notices it. That is why he says it, because power is not what shouts, it is what remains, unshaken, resolute, present. The fifth compliment carries reassurance forged in life's hard lessons. It is, you are going to be fine. At first, it may seem simple, too simple, but context gives it weight. When everything around you is crumbling, when the ground beneath you feels uncertain, when every plan has fallen apart, those words are not optimism, they are testimony. They are memory and prophecy intertwined. He has survived disasters, he has walked through fire and loss and come out standing. And in you he sees the same resilience, the same refusal to quit, the same stubbornness that looks like softness but is made of iron. You are going to be fine is not a wish, it is a verdict, a quiet, steady acknowledgement of your survival instinct, your strength, your capacity to endure. The sixth compliment is a tribute to boundaries. It is, you do not tolerate nonsense, and I admire that. This is a recognition of sovereignty. So many women are taught to be agreeable, to shrink, to fold themselves into smaller versions of who they are for the comfort of others. But he sees your refusal to do that. He sees the doors you have placed where walls could have been. He sees that your boundaries are not arrogance, they are self-preservation. And admiration from a man who has lived enough to see the cost of compromise is profound. He is telling you simply, I see you. I see the work it takes to stand firm. I honor it. The seventh and connected compliment acknowledges the fruits of your existence. It is, whoever raised you did something right. Whether you were raised by someone, by circumstance, or by sheer force of will, this compliment is about the result. It honors the roots you have planted, the resilience you have cultivated, the beauty that grew despite drought, neglect, and storms. He is seeing the harvest that you became, not the soil you came from, and that recognition matters more than words can capture. The eighth and final compliment is perhaps the most powerful. It is, you do not need me or anyone else to tell you what you are worth. This one sets you free entirely. It detaches you from validation, from dependence, from the need for approval. Your worth lives inside you, self-contained, unshakable, permanent. It is not chained to anyone's gaze, their applause, or their desire. And when he says it, he is doing something rare. He is returning your power to you. He is giving you your own authority, your own recognition, your own freedom. That is the ultimate honor, the ultimate compliment. And these 8 compliments are not flattery. They are witness. They are acknowledgement of the architecture, the discipline, the roots, the calm, the resilience, the boundaries, the legacy, and the inherent worth that make you who you are. They are not given lightly. They are given to those who have earned them by existing, by enduring, by being true.
The final part of this journey is not about words. It is about what those words create inside you. An awakening, a recognition, a reckoning with your own worth. By now you have heard the compliments that land differently.
You have heard the ones that honor your roots, your resilience, your calm, your boundaries, your freedom. And now the message is this: the world may never hand you permission to exist fully, but your existence itself is permission. Everything you have endured, the nights you stayed awake while the world slept, the burdens you carried alone, the tears swallowed in silence, the battles fought internally and externally, none of it was wasted. It built the architecture of your being. It created a self that cannot be diminished by noise, by opinion, or by absence of recognition. And when someone truly sees that, the effect is transformative. It is not admiration, it is acknowledgement. It is truth landing in the soil of your identity, and it blooms quietly, powerfully, irrevocably. The beauty of these words from an older, experienced observer is that they are not transactional. They are not dependent on your performance, your charm, your obedience, or your compliance. They are not a reflection of what you do, they are a reflection of what you are. And when you receive them, something inside you shifts. The compulsion to perform softens, the need for external approval dissolves, and the space to simply be opens wide. That is freedom, and it is rare. Now listen carefully. You do not need anyone else to complete you. You are never incomplete. The right person will not demand your fire dim to make theirs brighter. The right person will not seek to control your worth. They will witness it, honor it, and let it exist. And the beauty of this truth is that it applies to every woman, everywhere. No performance, no apology, no compromise required. You are already whole, already enough, already luminous. And if this truth has reached you tonight, if it feels like home, like medicine, like the first deep breath after drowning, remember this: your value is not measured by what others see, by what they desire, by what they applaud. Your value is measured by the consistency of your existence, by the integrity of your choices, by the strength of your presence. You are not too much. You never were. You are simply vast, and the world around you is only now learning how to measure that depth. Carry these lessons forward. Let them shape the way you choose who you allow into your life. Let them guide you in conversations, in relationships, in moments of doubt. Stand in the truth of yourself unapologetically. Hold your space firmly. Honor your stillness, your discipline, your backbone, your capacity to endure. And remember, the right people, the right relationships, the right connections do not ask you to shrink. They do not require you to dim your light. They simply recognize it. And when they do, it is a quiet, powerful celebration of what you have always been. Finally, take a moment and internalize the last truth from these 8 powerful acknowledgments. You do not need anyone to validate your worth. You do not need approval. You do not need someone else to confirm your value. That is freedom. That is sovereignty. That is the standard you carry moving forward. And when you step into that, fully, unreservedly, unapologetically, you become untouchable, unshakable, undeniable. You become yourself in the purest, most radiant form. And that, more than anything, is the gift you have been waiting for all along.